All right, so let's get into week two, the very first episode. So, in replacement habits, we want to make a plan to how to incorporate them into our life. And I'm about to break down every little step that I could think of to guide you. And I have noticed over time that, what I'm used to or what I might know, it doesn't always come natural to everyone. So, what I really wanted to do is kind of break down every little step that I was hoping that you could do. So, continuing with last week's whole theory about writing things down and actually doing the work and investing in yourself like it's a bank account. The more you invest and do the things for your new future you, the more you get to cash in on that or invest it even more and have that roll over and compound. Now, we're going to talk about some failures a little bit later, I think, but let's just get into it. So, how do we make a plan to incorporate them into our life? So, the first thing we want to do is just dig really deep into what healthy habits could possibly replace the bad habit. Now, I'm going to tell you about how I got to the fruit punch thing, right? Now, it's not necessarily healthy, but it's healthier. And then eventually I'll kick fruit punch. But imagine if I kicked 12 bad habits in a year. I mean, if I kicked soda to fruit punch and then I kicked fruit punch, that's only 2 months of the year, and then I'm not addicted to soda. And that's it. 10 months left to kick more habits. To me, focusing on one is really the way to go. Keep it simple, don't overdo it, and figure out what can replace that habit. And when we're going through that, we want to think about what habits fit our life best and our lifestyle. For me, let's say the fruit punch thing. I used to drink a lot of fruit punch and I drank the sugary kind, whatever. Then I found that Crystal Light, it was 0 calories. Now, yes, it's aspartame and all that garbage, of course, but it's better than soda in my opinion. But I used to drink it and I didn't drink soda, and I would try the little water bottle things, and that was yummy, but I didn't really I just kept drinking soda. So what I did is I just had this like apple juice container or like a big, 2 gallon thing, and I would make the huge one of fruit punch and I would just drink that all day. And I know that sounds insane, but it's better than drinking alcohol and drinking soda. And then, of course, eventually you get sick of fruit punch and then you get to water. And then that's like just a whole nother step, right? That suited my lifestyle because I eat like a 12-year-old sometimes and I like that stupid stuff like fruit punch and candy. That fits me, that works for me. So I find a replacement theory that really incorporates it into my life. And I recommend doing something the same. So I had this plan of how to incorporate something healthy into my life, which was water, more water. I just had to get there and I had to take a bridge. And there's nothing wrong with having my goal not like it's like a micro goal, it's a stepping stone to get to my full on breaking of the habit. And again, we wanted to set realistic goals, right? And for me, one of my realistic goals is to get closer to kicking the habit and then eventually kicking it. But I'm just doing 28 days. So my goal was what can I actually realistically do in 28 days? And the first thing I can do is quit drinking soda with every meal, quit drinking soda throughout the day, and limit it to a few times a day. Anytime I want something that I just want because I'm a child in my brain and I just want to have what I want because I'm selfish, then I get fruit punch and it's not a big deal. Now, I'm using myself as an example because I think it helps like that storytelling to solidify like maybe where you're at if you're biting your nails or drinking or spending too much and going shopping or whatever it is. You can make marginal things. What's a realistic replacement that you can do within 28 days if you can't do it all the way, if you struggled last week? And then speaking of struggling, we want to identify these obstacles that you've hit in this past week, and then you've noticed that the feelings, if you did what I was saying, you would have figured out how you feel and like what are the triggers and how to kind of deal with them a little bit. So now what we want to do is think of solutions. Now that we've identified it and we can label it and we can look at it objectively, and our emotions are now things that we can look at and say, this is this, and like robotic treatment prescribed, and then we just deal with the treatment on our emotional level. Robot prescription, human interaction, right? So we want to figure out what kind of solutions can we do. And, going back to the goals, the solutions would be aiming for something. They're not just whimsically created. And I'm sure you've heard of SMART goals. If not, they are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic goals that you can do. Goals are part of everything. They're business and personal life. Setting goals is just like a target, right? So if we can set these goals of what kind of solutions to overcome, like and figure out how to make this. I know it's a little messy here, but we can start to break these down into small, manageable steps, of course. And, having faith that you're doing it, you're already on your second week, even if you didn't do super great last week, which we probably did because you've committed, right? So you've done probably better than you did before or the week before you were actually taking active participation in handling these bad habits. You break it down into the small steps to meet the goal. So again, for me, let's just say I'm going to go with the fruit punch because it works. I think that was ridiculous. But so it's like, okay, I need to get a new container. Whatever I was trying last week with the soda, it just didn't really pan out exactly how I meant it. And that's fine. And that's kind of part of it because we're not fully done. So I have to get a container, like a big 2-gallon, 2-liter, whatever it is, and then get the larger thing of fruit punch and make it and have that cold. And then also get new ice trays. So I have these specific measurable things. And then I go about my day and then, drink fruit punch instead of soda. It sounds so stupid, but it's a great example because it's a halfway step. And obviously the next thing would do, like let's say that was just, I was drinking crazy amounts of fruit punch. And it's like, am I going to kill myself here by drinking fruit punch all day? but like, let's say I need to adjust, right? And I'm like, oh, wow, I need more ice than I thought. Or, I kept dirtying this glass or whatever adjustments I need to make. Or let's say it was just coming easy. I'm like, oh, okay, well, this isn't too bad. Maybe I can just go to water half of the time too and do ice water or lemon water or something like that because I have listed alternatives last week. So I have those written down so I can remember them and I have everything planned out. So then I can schedule a new time for the new habit in my daily routine. So for instance, again, if I'm having lunch, whatever, breaking my fast, then I will I'll start getting excited about this drink instead of the thing. I'm like, ooh, I'm doing this thing. It's cool. And I can plan it into my routine. If my mind gets locked onto something, that's when I fail. If I start thinking about a cookie and I'm fasting and I just can't get that out of my mind. I can't get it out of my mind. I'm ready to break the fast. I want to have 7 cookies. It's insane. Which finally comes to my last point again, is sometimes it can get really hard and doing it alone is really tough. And I have this picture of me here because I want to remind you, and I'm pushing that I am here to mentor and coach and guide you and assist and just be a friend for you. If you're looking for private coaching, I'm here. So I can be your support person. It's not easy alone, but I'm telling you, I've never made such fast progress since I hired my coach. And I think that it's probably the secret key to everybody who's extremely successful is to have that coach. And I'm telling you, I'm here for you. If not, I want to push you back to, of course, talk to your friends, talk to your family, find somebody on the internet. I don't know, go on freaking Instagram. That's great. But if you want one-on-one, somebody who cares about you just as much as you do and wants to have you succeed, it's surprising how many friends will try to rip you down like a crab in a bucket. Like, it's insane. So, yeah, that's it for today. Cheers.